Hello, everyone. Welcome everyone in the chat. Welcome to everyone in the future. My name is Guillaume. This is Thoman's Guitars and Basses, and I'm here with everyone's favorite Swede, the man who chugs, Ola Englund.
I thought it was the king. That was everyone's favorite Swede.
No. Welcome. Not worldwide. We had a census, and you won.
Oh, shit! That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm just sitting here, enjoying my beautiful setup here. You know, I have this new. I'm a pro now. You know, I got shit like this. You know, a video switcher, and it's a good time to be a streamer. I know everyone's streaming nowadays, so I have to fucking work up my game and need to get stuff like this.
You're right up there.
Yeah. So I'm just, I can do this and do stupid shit with my stuff, and I'm happy.
I bet. God, this is perfect. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And so the idea is obviously a lot of people are at home, and we're trying to bring some entertainment. So fart noises are welcome. I wanted to talk to you about self-promotion because you're the guy to talk about regarding this. Before we start taking questions from the chat, I have a couple things of my own that I'd like to ask. It's more of a scenario than a question, really, but and because you've done such an incredible job at branding yourself, like as a person, but also within your bands, and then as a brand with Solar Guitars. It's a fairly simple question. I guess it applies to a lot of people. I have a few songs that I've recorded. I'm really happy with them. I want to release them. In the current situation of, releasing music and all of that stuff, how would you go about this?
This is a very common question that I get. And I think the answer sort of changes throughout the last couple of years. I mean, I would have an answer for this 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and it wouldn't apply in the same vein today.
Yeah.
And I've always said before that you have to sort of build the audience before you release stuff. And, because, I mean, if you release an album, you don't have an audience, that album is wasted.
Yeah.
All those hours you put into making that album is gone, basically. So what you need to do is you have to promote yourself before the actual release. Make the release happening that people, cannot miss out on.
Because they already care about you as a person.
Exactly. I mean, it's not as easy when if you don't have a name out there.
Yeah.
It's how do you reach out to these people? When I started I started on forums a lot. That's where I kind of, stood my ground, and I was there and helping people and all that. And that's kind of how I built my name. And that took a lot of years to do that. And helping people out. And eventually, people started listening to my, the things that I had to say, and they appreciated my songs and tracks and all that. And from there, it kind of built up. And it's really hard today. I mean, there's so much music out there that it's getting released all the time. And how do you make someone listen to you and not everyone else that's releasing something the same day? And that's basically what the problem is right there. You're fighting for space, just like, a brand fights for space. Everyone is fighting for the space. That's social media right there. People, they post stuff when they play guitar and sweeping, and then the next couple of posts is the same. Another guy playing guitar, and that's basically, it's just, everything's just oversaturated with this way of what media is today, which social media has created this.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. It's not easy. And to be honest, I had an answer for this like 6 years ago. Today, I'm just not as sure if those strategies that I would have used a couple of years back would have worked today. But I think right now, if you're releasing an album, for say, and you haven't released anything before, your audience is, you don't really have an audience, I would probably not release the album at all. I would probably just, release snippets and kind of, bring more news to the table. If you just bring one piece of news to the table, that piece of news is gone within a couple of days.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you spread out the news and you make like a, release a single, for instance, like here and there, you can, if you have 12 songs, I mean, then you have news for, 12 months for a year. So,
So like, okay, whatever, I understand that it's a pretty complicated question in the sense that it's ever changing. Like whatever the current situation is, it's going to imply certain things, but you're definitely recommending doing something over time rather than trying to like make a big boom happen out of nowhere.
It's also about, I saw it in the chat here, someone said it's also about luck and also about timing, because I mean, you could release your album on the exact same day as Black Sabbath released their new album. And the news is crushed, basically. And that's a kind of weird thing. And that's a tip for a lot of you guys out there. If you ever release an album, don't do it on a Friday, because Friday is when all the record companies have their slots for releasing albums. So, I mean, find those weird times where people are not releasing material. Yeah. I mean, there's a schedule or like a said schedule for YouTube videos where people should upload their videos to reach the most, all the viewers, basically. Yeah. So usually that's like, okay, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday. Those are the days where the most of the people out there are consuming YouTube. I try and go the other way because everyone is doing those Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays and Saturdays. I'm having my FAQs like Sunday morning. No one is up. Except like all the drunk Americans and the really early bird Europeans, and
their audience.
I'm the only guy releasing something at that hour.
Yes.
So if someone goes on there and I'm just trying to find new content, well, there's Ola,
Yeah.
So I think a good tip is just to don't follow the norm of releasing something on like a Friday, or just find the weird hours, man. Just release it unconventional. Try to think of something new and cool, a new cool way of you releasing something, and I mean, shock people, basically. I think that's probably the best bet you can have, is just to kind of surprise people, and then they go like, wow, shit, there it is. Or
that's the thing, really. It's not like, even if with the amount of music that's being released today, there's still it's still possible to come up with new stuff and to shock people and to do all of that, even with the amount of stuff that's coming out. But okay, that's kind of a different train of thought right there. Okay, there was someone in the chat earlier that was saying, how is gigging involved into all that? How necessary is it?
Yes, that's also a very, very good question, because, I mean, in this day and age, you can record and you record yourself. If you have knowledge in computers and, DAWs like Logic and Cubase and all that, you can basically record yourself. I must say, a really good thing about the era right now is that, I mean, you don't even have to be that good of a guitar player to be able to record yourself, or record passages, or cut yourself into here and there, and create a song of yours, like create music. That has never been easier. The touring aspect, and also it's not been as cheap as it is right now to record yourself or release an album, because the publishing tools out there, they basically don't cost anything. The touring part and aspect, though, still costs a lot of money, because first of all, you need to get a band together. They all need to think it's fun. If they don't think it's fun, they need to get paid. And then there's, equipment and gear. And then you have to book gigs, and someone has to book the gigs for you. There has to be people attending. And, the touring aspect, it's such another big part of this whole, of your music, that needs to work out, and it also has to make sense. My band, Feared, for instance, which is now, it's not really an active band. We don't play, but in the beginning we did gigs. We did it, and we went out and played in Sweden. We also went to Germany a couple of times and played there, and basically not making any money. I mean, that's the side aspect. You try to build your name, right? You just do the shows, and maybe you can at least pay off the trips or whatever. But you do it for the fun, and as you become older, and you have more obligations, you have kids, you have a family you need to support. You know, that part of the music needs to pay off. So, yeah,
And
I wouldn't say that for Feared, for instance, for me to bring that band out on tour, it would probably cost me a shit ton of money to get that band. I mean, we would probably go out there and sell a little bit of merch and all that, but it's very time consuming as well. And I think sitting here doing what I do here, obviously it's not gonna, help the band Feared that much, me doing this, but I'm putting these hours into me instead and what I'm doing on my YouTube channel because I have to, because I have a family to support and I have kids, and so I have to take the decisions that make sense for me.
Yeah, of course. I completely get that, but it's like what you were saying earlier regarding building your audience. Do you still think that nowadays there is a possibility to build up the audience, that audience that you need to release music through gigging, or should you invest your time in producing content, essentially?
Well, the content is obviously very important, but if you're a really, really good live band and you get a really good open slot, I mean, the word of mouth still works. Yeah. I mean, shit, this is a kick-ass live band, you should go see these guys and whatever. I mean, that kind of word going from mouth to mouth, that's very important still, but that was the only reason why bands got big back in the day. And, eventually a record company would come and watch the band and they would get signed. And that's how it went. Nowadays, the gigging part is so small. Now it's more about making the content, making a video that people enjoy and can go and watch and make viral. Now that doesn't that doesn't mean that it brings them more money, because it definitely does not. But they get the attention, and with the attention, they can, in the long run, make something bigger out of it.
Yeah. How much do you reckon you being involved in Fear and later on The Haunted and 6 Feet Under and everything contributed to you being where you are on YouTube right now?
I think that it's been important that I've been coming from these bands. And I think I'm going to be completely honest, in the male community, I think it gives us some sort of legitimacy to be in a touring band. And, with The Haunted, I'm doing that. So I'm still out there touring. But those guys are also old people with family. And they also make a living out of it. So, we're not touring as much, which is perfect. It's a perfect setup for me because, I like being at home. I like doing this. And, I occasionally like to go out and play in front of a lot of people. And it's definitely, the rush is still there. Yeah. And, but I definitely think that, me being in The Haunted has really helped my channel in the way that people think it's what I say makes more sense, or there's more meat on the legs, basically. Yeah. That's what I think, at least. And then I'm not to decide that. That's the viewers right there.
Yeah, no, for sure. The viewers are asking if it's just a live interview or if they can ask questions. That was Under Destruction 122. You guys can obviously ask questions. This is a Q&A, so whatever you would like Ola to say or answer, please go ahead. There you go. That was your answer. If you have some time, this will pass. Yes, it will, Mike. Well, it is here. Touring is so much fun. Yes, it is, but it is expensive, though.
Ola is a cool guy.
Yeah,
he's a frequent viewer and a heavy YouTuber. It's a up-and-coming YouTuber, I would say. It's cool to see him in there.
He's a really cool dude. Who else do we have? John, Mike. I put my phone way too far away. I can't even read the questions.
I know what it is. You need to have low latency on the stream because the questions are delayed a little bit. I know what I'm doing. I've been doing the YouTube streaming for a while.
I noticed the mic changed today.
I have not burped yet. No, sorry.
What happened to the one that looks like the Death Star? Oh, your mic. Yeah.
It's on the floor. Like 5 minutes before this live stream, I decided I need to get rid of this and try this microphone. And I've been very lucky enough to have Rhoda sent me a bunch of things. And I tried this out. but now I'm doing the lavalier microphone, so this doesn't matter anymore anyway. So, but yes, thank you. I've been trying to up my game a little bit with the streaming. So I had a live stream yesterday, like a live rig of the week, where I sat and did the regular thing. I sit and try an amplifier. With whatever. I had people vote for the amplifier and the guitar, and I sat there and I was switching cameras with my feet and muting myself and soloing the guitar channel and all that yesterday. So it was complete chaos. But you just have to throw yourself out there. Yeah. And eventually it'll become good. And I think that's a general rule nowadays that might not really push people forward, is that they're probably afraid that people will put them down for trying. And when I started my YouTube channel, I remember so much, the feeling that, I was trying to make my demos perfect. I was sitting for hours recording my takes just to, because to make them perfect, basically, for the videos. Because I was really, people could say really nice things about you and your videos, and then suddenly people would say shit things about you, and I really took it to heart.
Yeah.
And that definitely pulled me back a little bit. But I noticed the more I opened up and just tried out new things, people support you if they see that you're trying. So yeah. I think that's a very good tip right there. It's just like, don't let don't be held back by your own, your views of or the imagination on how people will see you. I think it's very easy. You have to let go of that and just, jump straight into it. It's the best way of learning things, and eventually you'll probably become good at it as well. So, just like with practicing guitar, you can practice, being social. You can practice, streaming live. You can practice talking in front of people. When I was a kid and, going to school, I hated talking in front of people. And with the role, when I started my YouTube channel, I didn't talk at all. But then I was kind of forced into it. And I remember when I was with Washburn, they asked me and said, like, hey, do you want to do clinics now? We have to make clinics now because of, you have a signature guitar with Washburn. You have to go to South America and do clinics. And I was like, okay, but I don't talk to people. I have a silly voice and I sound like shit. But same thing there. I just jumped right into it. It was probably shit the first time, but the more you do it, the more you get into it and the more relaxed you get. It's just like playing live for the first time. You've got to be, really, really nervous. But after the 10th time, it sinks in and, it just gets easier. It gets easier, guys. Okay. It gets easier. That's just
the point for the day. Yeah. Yes. It's fun. There's definitely that experience aspect to it. But I had a conversation with Pete Thorne a while ago about that kind of assumption that everyone here is here to hate you and like to give you shit on what you do, when it's absolutely not true. Like whatever kind of musician you are, even if there's like 5 people at your gig, they still came to your gig to see you. So like they want to like what you do. Don't stress out because you think
exactly. And the real supporters, they will have the patience for you as well.
Yeah.
And they know and see if you're becoming better or if you're doing a better job, or if they don't like the content, they'll leave. That's the good thing about YouTube. It's like, okay, if they don't like you, they stop. Some people, they like to write that they don't like you, but but then they leave, and that's fine. I think that's also a thing. People just have to understand that the people that write that they don't like you, their voices are a lot louder, and that's just how it is. You just have to kind of move away from that and, understand that, okay, you cannot make everyone happy. Just as this video, it has 4 dislikes. There's 4 people out there that actively sit like this to dislike this video because I'm on it, or they don't agree with my opinion. That's just how it is. Who the fuck cares anyways? You just have to look forward and focus on, what you think you're doing right, and kind of, it's more about, knowing and doing what you love, basically. And, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people will see and, start following you for the what do you call it, the sincerity of your videos and your the content, and they see that you're burning for your stuff and music and videos or whatever it is you're doing. If you're a painter, you just have to let yourself not get influenced by other people, and I think eventually people will listen to your voice.
Yeah, because that influence from the outside definitely try to push you into like something that you're not organically.
Yes.
And if you stop being that, then all the attraction kind of dies out, and it's not what you're looking for.
Yes, exactly.
Such a great point, man. Thank you so much.
Listen to this. If you're a teenager and you're kind of like growing up in the world, and you go online and you upload a video and people basically piss on them. I mean, think of the damage that can make. I mean, it's actually, I saw the name Devin up here, but Devin said a really good thing. He said that, with the difficulties of the world today, I mean, we should be supporting each other as much as we can. It's so easy to just say something nice about someone. Or, I mean, I know if there's a video out there that I don't like, or a piece of music that I don't like, that's okay. I move on.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they sit and take the time to actually, yeah, exactly. So there you go.
I can't even remember the question, but that was such a good answer, though. I've seen some cool questions in the meantime. Someone was asking, what are your thoughts on working for free to build up your brand? I thought that was a good point.
Yes. So this is a problem common in like the mixing and producing area of the music business and industry, because when I was on these forums back in the day, these were all like amateur producers and mixers. They would basically mix stuff for free, and sometimes it sounds shit, sometimes it's good. But at the end of the day, with all of these new actors on the market, it's making it harder and harder for the professionals to actually be able to charge what they're charging.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important because the way that I kind of, grew my following was that, you share knowledge with people, and you don't charge for the knowledge, but if they need some, like mixing, for instance, a product that they want your service, then you should charge for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's bad to let knowledge out there and just be open about knowledge and IRs and stuff like that.
But try and make a living off of them.
Yeah, somewhere you have to start somewhere. And how do you do that? Well, either you can do an internship at a studio, that's basically working for free right there, or you can do it online and mix stuff for free, basically. So, I mean, same old. It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you have to start somewhere.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere, and eventually when you feel that you're confident enough that people would actually pay for your product, then that's the time right there. I just don't think that. I think the problem is if people stay too long in the work for free time, because obviously after a while it's not going to work out. They're gonna they have bills to pay and families to feed, and so you have to start charging for your services. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense in the long.
Yeah. No, definitely. And regarding to building your way up to that, someone was asking what were your thoughts on trying to hit for a certain type of audience. So are you building towards a niche audience, or are you trying to be as broad as possible to bring as many people as possible in? And did you have that kind of strategy as well?
That's an excellent question. I never had a strategy more than just trying to do what I thought I would want to do at the time. So obviously, I'm very much into metal. I love playing metal guitars, and you see my videos, I just chug, and because that's my life right there. That's what I like to do. So I don't really see a reason for me to be broad, do blues lessons or whatever, just to kind of fool other people into my channel, and then they'll discover I'm sitting chugging my ass off every day. I think it's more important to be open and true to your audience, to show them who you are, and this is what I'm doing. If you like it, good, you can follow. If you don't like it, well, see ya. I mean, I think that's very important. I have a very straight focus on what I want to do, And the same thing goes with solar guitars, for instance. I mean, we have a really clear focus on, we're doing metal guitars. It's not like we're doing this and this and this to cater to everyone.
Yeah.
We're doing metal guitars, because that's where I come from, from the home recording, self-recording asshole, that's what I want to make. I want to make a guitar that caters to me, basically.
Yeah.
And I can't make a guitar that caters to a blues guy, but I can try. But I know the metal thing, I have that at hand. I think I know what I'm doing, basically. So it's very niche, but it wasn't planned, I would say. It's more like, this is what I am, and my channel is what I am, and it's the music that I enjoy. And so eventually you find that niched audience anyway. You just have to put in the hours and time.
Being like true to yourself is going to bring a certain type of audience, and it shouldn't be like a researched, okay, I'm going to do that to get to these people, but like these people are going to come to me because I do that.
Yes, exactly. In the long run, I think this is the most honest way to run a channel. Now, is it something I would recommend to become viral? Well, if you watch my channel, it's not a viral channel at all. It's a grinding channel. It's been growing from whenever I started back in 2010. That's 10 years ago. Yeah. I've been running my YouTube channel the way it is for 10 years, and now I'm getting to like 500,000 subscribers. So it's not like I'm not an instant success. And, I had to work really hard for this. And, either you're really talented and really lucky with getting viral and, getting a lot of views and subscribers, or you just work your ass off. And I've always believing in, if you work for it, it will pay out in the end. Now, it did take a long while, but, I was just being persistent about it and, just keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. So there's a couple of different ways to run a YouTube channel, basically. I mean, because that's basically what we're talking about right here. I mean,
I guess so, yeah.
I guess that's what I can, bring to the table right here. Because, I'm not a successful guitar player, but, I built something else, surrounding guitars and guitar playing.
Yeah.
And I do what I use the tools that I have to create my platform. And then there are other guys out there who are incredible guitar players, and they create their platform with their type of videos where they shred their asses off and, impress a lot of people. So you just have to find what you're good at and then try to push that. And if it doesn't work, well, try something else. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, try something else. I mean, trial and error, basically, until you find something that sticks.
When did you find that?
I'm not sure I found it yet, but I think and I hope the reason why a lot of people follow me now is because I've been straightforward with people, and I have been honest with people, and I think I become the girl next door for a lot of people. The friend next door. That's
so right. Yeah.
And so I'm not a talent. I'm not a hero. I'm not anyone special. I'm just a really good friend.
That always depends on how you define those things. It's not like, okay, you can't do like 2 hand tapping, sweep arpeggios, and
exactly.
Although, you can, but it's not all. It's I don't know. Like, I know personally, and that kind of relates to what you say. You were true to yourself, and that's when I started actually following you. Like, I was always on and off on your channel for a long time, but then I think the FAQ and like the very personal and like direct aspect of you made me want to come back, and that was like that felt honest. It's like, I want to see that it's not staged.
Yeah, and I think I don't think it's bad for people to make and open up video, like to making videos like that, where they just sit and talk, because people listen if you have something good to say. Normally, I don't have anything good to say. I can sit like this, and and that makes me happy. But in the perfect world right here, a lot of other people kind of finds that funny as well. So I don't mind that. I'm showing this side of myself to people. I know maybe a lot of other artists might be a little bit more secretive about their, how they portray themselves as an artist. Because, I mean, the mystique around being an artist is also very important.
Yeah.
I mean, a band like Meshuggah, for instance, who are all about the mystique, they barely give any interviews, and it creates a really cool, concept for the band. But I think for a guy like me that is just a little good at everything, I think, I need to open up and, show myself, and hopefully people like my personality. If I was a musical genius and I would sell millions and millions of albums, I would probably not have to do, I wouldn't have to do this probably. Yeah. But now, Ola is more of a cartoon character than anything else. I mean, it's become this. And then there are people that actually enjoy my music,
Yeah.
So there's always, some people enjoy me for my FAQs, some people enjoy me for my Willet chugs, some people like this, and some people like my music. I mean, and the guitars, obviously. And, you have to kind of, it's funny you say this, you said about broadening your niche. Yeah. Well, it's not so much me broadening my niche, it's more about me broadening myself and, just keep a lot of balls in the air. Is that an expression?
Yeah, it should. If it's not, it should be.
It should be. That's a Swedish expression, to keep a lot of balls in the air.
Is that a Swedish? Can we have a Swedish expression of the day?
Okay, många bollar i luften. So that's a lot of balls in the air. That's where you have a lot of många strängar på din lyra. Many strings on your lute.
Oh yeah.
Also a very common expression, and so that's the Swedish word of the day for you. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We scrolled past some really cool questions, and one of them kind of relates to you opening up progressively. And some Scott, I think. I'm sorry, I read comments, but then they leave, and I don't remember them. Yes. Scott was asking what was enjoyable about the challenge of making Solar guitars, and how did you know it was like the right time to do that for you?
All right, so a couple of years back when I was with Washburn, and Washburn were basically making my Solar guitar. Back in 2013, I had the design concept of the Solar guitar ready, basically.
Yeah.
And I basically went to companies. I talked to Ibanez, I talked to ESP, and I knew with Ibanez and ESP it would be a problem to get my own model in there and my own design. But Washburn I had such a good meeting with. And they were kind of, the underdog because they were basically only making acoustics at the time, and they were kind of, get back into the electrical market or electric guitar market. So they would take me on and take on my design. And then eventually the people that made me go with Washburn, they left the company, and, a lot of things changed with the company. It's a big, it's bureaucracy, basically. There's a lot of things. I wanted to do so much, with my guitar line. I managed to do a lot with Washburn, released a shit ton of guitars. But, I want to do so much more being Ola Englund, the entrepreneur. So I felt like, this is great, what I'm doing right here with Washburn. But I know if I can do it myself, I can probably try and make it better. And I called my old colleagues from Washburn that had quit Washburn, and I asked them, hey, man, what do you feel about us creating our own brand of Solar guitars? I mean, it's my design. Let's just continue on this and try and make it right from the start. And that's what I had no idea how it would go, so I was really reluctant of doing this. Obviously, I had to kind of save up a bunch of money to be able to even kind of fork out for samples and then eventually a first production line. So it was a lot on the line for me that a lot of people didn't know about, but it was in the back of my head. I knew about it, but I was just being Ola on YouTube. But at the end of the day, I think it all paid off because I was being really patient with not letting too many people know about what was happening. So when we launched, we already had guitars ready, and people could buy them straight away and get them delivered straight away. Because nowadays people have no attention span. This is the consuming era of media, like we talked about before. So I knew that if we would launch a brand and say like, we will have guitars in 1 year, you can order in a custom shop or whatever. It would not go over well. So I forked out a shit ton of money to be able to order my first couple of Solars, to have available when we launch. and we launched and we sold the guitars. And then I knew from that point that, okay, this is going to be okay. This is going to be okay. Yeah, this was the right move for me, because it's also like, why would someone buy a YouTuber brand guitar? And that was my self-doubt, obviously, before I started the brand.
Yeah.
And but it has, from at this point right here, I think it's grown to be something other than the YouTuber's guitar brand. So right now it's Solar Guitars and Ola over here, which is great. Even though I'm such a big part of that brand, how we design guitars and the news and all that. I'm trying to keep them separate. So it's not like, hey, I'm Ola the Solar and this is me on YouTube. And no, it's Solar Guitars and Ola Englund over here. And
I think anyone looking into solar guitars will find you, and they'll come across you. But I remember like the first time you came at Thomann, and I was still working at the call center, and I was selling guitars. That's what I was doing. I was taking phone calls and selling guitars and advising people. And the amount of calls that we'd get about like just recommendations and what's good about this, what's good about that, and then you kind of realize that people just cruise on the website and it's like, oh, I like that. I don't know who makes that. I kind of don't care, but I like that.
Yes.
And that, it's. I mean, I understand why you would be afraid and wondering why would people buy something like the guitar of that YouTuber. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think because you were confident in your product and you made like some really sick guitars, it was worth like doing it. Definitely.
Yes. That I think that my dream guitar is a guitar that looks the way that I play. Like it's you see the guitar and okay, shit, he's gonna start chugging any minute. That's kind of like that's the guitar I want to make. Yeah. And I think that, like we talked about before about the niche, is that I have such a clear focus that this is a Mel guitar. You asshole, you like Mel? That's the guitar right there. That's the one. Yeah. So I think and I hope that people understand that judgment, and not being, not knowing who I am, because there's a lot of people out there, obviously, that have no fucking idea who I am. I just want them to be able to see a guitar and like, wow, shit, that's some sexy curves right there. I want to sit with that guitar. That's all I want to do. I mean, there's a reason why, I mean, when I made this, it's basically, I try to make the guitar of my dreams. We all have dreams. Yeah. And, I was sitting, when I was a teenager, sitting with, Guitar World, and, I saw those Dimebag ads, and, I saw the Washburn Dime 3.3 guitar, and it's like, I mean, shit, think of having your own signature guitar. Think of making your own guitar, man. Yeah. I mean, how cool is that? I could have become a luthier, and sit or like a carpenter and, create my own guitar. That would probably be fine too. But, I like the designing part of things, and okay, why does this not work? And why does this work and all that? So it's definitely a dream come true. And now it's become bigger than I kind of understand, I guess. So it's
in the best way possible, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm very happy, because the solar part of the solar guitars part of thing, like on my whole career, has helped my YouTube channel a lot, because now I'm not locked down to obligations anymore. Yeah. So I think Solar Guitars has made my YouTube content better, I would say, because now I don't have to. I have to have this.
Some pressure off of you.
This pressure of paying for this month's rent or whatever. Now it's more stable, and I think that shows in my videos as well, where I'm just more relaxed, basically. Yeah. And so I'm very happy about how Solar Guitars kind of ventured and how it's going today. I'm very lucky and happy, and obviously I was very smart to do it at a very good time. And
that's all other business, man.
Yes, but also being like being European and Scandinavian and Swedish, we're very, very cautious about, we take baby steps. And we don't like to launch into like, something too quick. I mean, we need to have security. And, I need to know that I have, if this fails, I can fall back on something.
Yeah.
Or, if this goes. So baby steps. It's always been about the baby steps for me. And I think so far, for me at least, I've been lucky as well, because I've been working and working. It's all about, because I'm making all the videos, it's more likely, because I have so many videos and so many pieces of news, that, eventually it will grow and grow and grow and grow and grow and grow until something that's, uncontainable. But, what was I talking about? I don't remember.
How good your decision was to make Solar Guitar at that moment.
But, exactly. But I think it's just been, I've been filling this channel and myself with content and news, like, at all times. And I think that's basically that's the recipe right there for just constantly growing. I'm not growing like this. I'm growing like this.
Yeah.
But as long as I don't quit, it will probably still grow like this.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy with that. And people, other channels, they come and go, and music acts, they come and go. And that's life right there. I'd rather try and build a stable foundation and keep my family safe. And that's just how I that's just how I built everything, basically. It's slow and stupid, but in the long run, it's probably it's like a low risk fund, I would say.
Yeah.
But it's slowly growing. It's not like the Bitcoin right there. It's more like buying.
It's a smart way of doing it.
No, exactly. So
okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt or anything. I just, because there were a bunch of questions on YouTube, but I don't want to jump right into it. Because we were on Solar Guitars, and because I know you can you chug a little? Just so that people are happy.
I can.
No pressure, just open strings.
Just open strings. Oh shit, wrong sound. Okay. That was not the chugging sound.
Definitely.
Let me mute myself. Do you want to know what the preset is called?
Yeah.
Ola Chunky Bites in Face.
A bunch of people have been asking what kind of setup were you using for your regular content, like just pick up a guitar and play something.
All right, so something that I'm like, if I'm just gonna sit and practice, or just sit and noodle around, this is basically what I'm using right here. I'm using the Neural DSP Plini plugin. Yeah. And I have my Apogee Ensemble that before the stream we talked about this. It was freaking out. It was putting all the input meters to plus 75 dB. And sometimes when it works, it's a great audio interface. And I basically just connect my guitar straight into the guitar input, and that's it. And this plugin right there. And since I'm not touring that much, I just tour occasionally. I have a Fractal Ax8 pedal that I use sometimes. You just plug it into a power amp and a cabinet. Just for, it's easy for me to bring a small pedal like this for a flying gig and just use, usually there's a backline 5150 or rectifier or something like that. You can just plug it into the effects loop, and basically the sound will be the same all over the place. I'm also looking into a little bit of, I'm really nerdy about, downsizing rigs. I love that. So there's, like, nowadays there's so many cool pedals out there that can do it all. I'm more about, finding the perfect one that can get me as close as possible to, my live home rig and, cabinet and all that. Yeah. And I think we're getting there. I've been doing a lot of clinics using these plugins. So I just bring my computer and my UAD Aero interface, and that's it basically. And, everything's routed through the computer, the music, the chugging, and I have a perfect mix at all time. And then I use in-ears like you do right now. Yeah. And it's a perfect world, almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Okay. Can we expect a Neural DSP Ola Chugs plugin in the future?
Here's the thing. So back in the day, I had Randall Satans and signature products like that. I'm kind of over signature products. So basically, I'm proud to say that I'm not endorsed by anyone right now. with anything. Other than Röda sending me something to just say, hey Röda, thank you for sending this. But I'm not endorsed or anything like that. They don't. I don't have any obligations against this brand. But so I don't want to have signature products like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like when it's. I don't like to be branded. I want people to come to my channel, watch my content, and be like, hey man, Ola. He's not favoring, obviously not favoring solo guitars because it's my guitar brand, but he's not favoring, the rectifier or the, I play what I think sounds good.
Yeah.
And I hope that people can expect that when they come to my channel and see a Willet Chug, that my reaction is a real reaction. And I don't want to be sponsored or anything like that. I want to be genuine. And that's just my direction right there. So no, I don't think. They've been asking me though, but maybe that's a secret. But no, there won't be as of right now, there won't be a signature plugin. But thank you.
But we do know the Pliny VST chugs.
The Pliny is definitely chugging right now. Cool. That's enough for me, man. It's a great plugin.
Yeah, it does. It does sound incredible. Okay. What time is it? Holy sh! Okay. Sorry.
We have so much fun.
We do. How many do you have?
How many? Oh, I have several banks, man. What do you need? What do you need? I got it all. I got it all, man. I got it all. Okay, let's
me
see.
the day after Mexican food.
I have it. Zelda, Metal Gear. I have a. Let's see, dude. I have so much shit. I have. If I do a joke, I can do like. And it's like, yeah, we can go on for days, man. But I know people will leave and put a dislike on this video now. Fart noise. But I just think that fart noises they're really fun and good. So yeah, thank you.
Several banks worth of it. You're a legend.
No. This board right here is legend. Yeah. I love this board. This is my new favorite piece of equipment right here.
I get why. Okay, that was a completely natural transition into YouTube advice. Yes. Because there were a bunch of people asking before, do you have any tips for YouTubers to push your visibility or try and come out a lot, I guess? And so, number one, using fart noises, I suppose.
Yes, exactly. Well, it helps using fart noises. But
how does the YouTube algorithm love fart noises? It's like that needs to be a question.
Yeah, no, I think that nowadays, I mean, because there's so many new content creators out there, that it's very, or even more important to have your own voice and do something different that no one has done before, and kind of, shock people. Just like I said with your release there, I think it's very important to find something that people can instantly enjoy and say, hey, I want to see more of this, because nowadays people don't even subscribe anymore. They just watch a video and the YouTube feed and occasionally.
We've had that problem. So anyone in the chat that hasn't subscribed yet, please do. And then you go to Ola's channel and you do that too. Thank you very much.
Great. So, but I think that is very important nowadays. A trick that I've always been kind of like, not a lot of people think about this, but if you have a favorite YouTuber and you're like, I want to do shit like this.
Yeah.
Take all his ideas, steal them, and make it way better. Just make it better. This part sucks. Ola pressing this, that sucks. That should have been a duck or whatever. Just take a good concept that's already working and, try and make it better. I mean, that probably works because nowadays everything has been done basically. Well, not everything. People are bound to find stuff to do, and I definitely think that there's still enough room for content that is great and awesome. Yeah. And so I mean, I don't want to disencourage people. I want to encourage people to start with the channels if they want to. They just have to understand that it doesn't grow overnight. If they're unlucky, it might take a shit ton of work and a lot of years, just like it did for me. And they have to understand that they need to put in the hours. So don't let your first time don't quit. Basically, I think that's the problem right there. I think a lot of people just quit way too early.
Yeah.
Or stop, or just continue. Just if you believe in it, I think it's worth putting a lot of effort into. That's what I think.
That's beautiful. This is beautiful. We can't touch that.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. No, we need that comic relief at some point. No, that was a really great point, and I feel like in terms of YouTube advice, we can't really do more than that at this point. No. Let's finish with some teasing, shall we? Because I've read at least 75 comments asking, when is Solar going to do a bass? When is Solar going to do a pedal? When is Solar going to do an amp? So when is Solar going to do everything?
That's the thing. I know I get these questions all the time, and I just say that bass players, they suck, and pedals suck, amplifiers suck, guitars are great. But I mean, whenever people are ready for it, it will come. Saying it like fucking Jesus right there.
Yeah.
No, I just don't like talking about my plans regarding solo guitars. But there's so much shit happening right now, and I don't think. There's actually a bunch of news on this guitar rack back here, but people won't be able to see it. But there's news on this rack, just saying, that hasn't been announced yet. So if you're really anal about new things, you can just check this quality stream right here and try and comparison guitar. There's also there's a couple of different. What will you call jokers in there? Gesture cards right there.
Oh, is it Courtney Cox?
Yes.
Ah, nice. She's awesome.
Yes, I fell in love with Courtney Cox, by the way.
Yeah. You Instagrammed about that, her dime bash playing.
Yes. Holy shit. She was amazing. She was the best. She played all the solos flawless.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this guitar is not in tune. Because it doesn't have every tune. But look at this asshole.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so I have a small little crush on her, but just don't tell me what.
It's funny, you reciprocate. Is that the English word? Reciprocate? Yeah, I guess so. Because there seem to be a lot of crushes around you. Like if you're talking about Courtney Cox, and I still remember Jen Majura losing everything when you noticed her the first time, or when I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was. Yeah,
well, since I was a kid, I've never actually paid that much attention to women. I've always been more about guitars and skateboarding and everything else basically. And I never dated. I never went out to to bars to get laid or anything like that. I went out to bars to have fun, be with my friends. And it's just now that I'm starting to fall in love with people. And my wife obviously first
obviously.
And it's just something about and I don't want to be sexist in this, but there's something really sexy about someone like Courtney Cox being able to play your favorite band Pantera's solos impeccable, and that's oof. Just as I have I can get a massive hard on for singers, male and female singers. They just that really makes the skin stand out, and it's just things like that make me really make me love things, stuff that music is about love. That's a good ending right there. You can quote me on that.
I will. This is cool. We finish on the note that you can love and you're happy, and this is awesome.
And it's okay to get a boner for a guy singing really well, or a guy playing really well, really good guitar. So I mean, Rabia gives me a massive hard on, and there's a lot of massive hard ons out there that yes. So there you go.
We have to stop there and finish on the Rabia hard on. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for taking the time. That was awesome.
One.
Changing banks. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your cool questions, and we'll see you very soon. Ola, thank you again.
Cheers, guys.
Take care of yourselves out there.
Thank you. Bye.